Hi folks, Dr. Ariana Anderson here. I'm your resident naturopath at AFC Wellness. Due to popular demand, we have done research on CBD oils and partnered with Nutritional Frontiers to provide AFC Wellness patients with quality CBD products. These will be available to the AFC Wellness patients starting on Monday, September 3rd. So this journey into CBD oils has been very, very interesting. There is an amazing amount of research out there on the subject. A lot of research can actually seem a little conflicting once you dig into the science of the plants, and a little convoluted. However, we pulled out what we think is the information that most people are looking for, and hopefully can present it in a relevant and straightforward way for you. We do encourage discussion on the topic for all of us to enhance our understanding of this complex and sometimes controversial subject. The number one question I think that people have had and asked me about was, what's the difference between industrialized hemp and marijuana? Well, they are both cannabis plants. They are genetically very similar. However, that question will actually lead you down quite a rabbit hole of discussion around the technicalities regarding the chemical composition of these plants. There's like 60 different species and maybe over 6,000 variations. And so it gets kind of complicated. However, what I think the most important point for all of us who are interested in CBD oil is that industrial hemp has been bred to have more CBD content and very little THC. It actually has less than 0.3% by dry weight, whereas marijuana is flip-flop. That plant actually that we're most so familiar with has elevated THC content and a smaller percentage of CBD. However, CBD will not create any psychotropic effects. So that's that feeling of being high that people will get with marijuana, whereas THC does produce that effect. So industrial hemp products, such as, some of you may have even seen that, like at Costco, if you go to Costco, they have organic hemp seed there. Some people were wondering if it's okay to eat that. Totally fine. There's it's the same sort of concept that any THC would be way so low that it would never have any type of psychotropic effect for an individual, and it's completely legal to sell and to eat. So feel free to get that because it's very nutritious for you. So the next question that most people get to is, what's the difference between cannabis oil, hemp seed oil, and hemp extract oil? There's can be a lot of misunderstanding around those three. So cannabis oil is actually derived from whole cannabis plants, marijuana plants. So that will have an enhanced amount of THC, which gives that feeling of being high, so making it a psychotropic. This can only be sold in states where they've passed medicinal and recreational marijuana laws. We do not sell this kind of oil in our office and won't in the future. So the next one is hemp seed oil. Not to be confused with hemp extract oil, because they are different. Hemp seed oil, this oil is sourced from actual cannabis seeds, not from the whole plant. So the seeds do not have any of those, they're called cannabinoids. That is not in the seeds, it's in the whole plant. So this is a non-psychotropic oil. However, because there are no cannabinoids in it, it doesn't have the medicinal properties that you would get from CBD oil. And so this oil would be more comparable to, like, say, an avocado oil or a sunflower oil. And so there is benefits to it. There's definitely healthy fats in there so that for cooking and making salad dressings with it. But it is not going to give you the medicinal effects that you would get from CBD oil. Hemp extract oil is really what we're looking for. That's derived from the cannabis plants, from industrial hemp cannabis plants. It's from the whole plant. So there is CBD in those in high amounts, and then these particular plants would have less than 0.3% THC, so there would be no psychotropic effects whatsoever with this kind of oil, and it has numerous medicinal benefits to the body, and it is legal to purchase in all 50 states. This type of oil is high in CBD, and also what's called CBN, which is cannabidiol. So this leads us to the next question. What are the benefits of CBD oil? What's the big hubbub about it? Well, interestingly enough, quite a bit. So truly, I was amazed by the research that I saw in the case studies supporting medicinal values of CBD for the body. And some of the potential benefits, which is definitely, this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but some of the things that can be a benefit are, number one, it supports nervous system function. It reduces nerve pain, anxiety, depression, seizures, spasms. It's an antipsychotic. It helps to decrease nausea, and as far as seizures go, what they see with people, some people their seizures actually will stop. Others, the frequency and intensity will diminish. So pretty amazing from a nervous system support. It's also anti-inflammatory, so it helps to relieve rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, psoriasis, all of those autoimmune conditions and also inflammatory conditions that a lot of people are ailing from. It has shown amazingly to inhibit cancer growth. It's a bone stimulant. It promotes cardiovascular health and blood circulation. It lowers the incidence of diabetes, and it is an antimicrobial. So it's got a pretty robust profile for benefits in the human body. But if you want a deeper dive, there are some resources at the end here that you can kind of do a deeper dive with research on your own time. So next question. This is the big one, is how do we determine if we're getting a quality product? So this is really what took us the most time in doing research. There's a lot of quality producers out there. There's a lot of producers that are making low quality and trying to sell something that has less efficacy than it's stated on the label. So these are the main things. Like if you're out looking for quality CBD, these are some of the things that you want to make sure. One is that ensure that the product, the industrial hemp, was grown on organic farmland. There are no USDA organic certification requirements for hemp at this point. So if somebody does say it's certified USDA organic, they're being a little disingenuous, because that actually does not exist at this point. But you can, however, see if where it has been grown that farm utilizes organic farming methods. And hemp can be grown domestic or imported. However, it's very important that hemp is used to produce CBD oil sourced from farmland that follows organic farming practices, because hemp has this amazing ability to detoxify soil and air, which makes it a very valuable plant in general for the land. However, if it is grown in areas that have a lot of toxins in the soil and the water and the air, those toxins are actually going to be in the plant. So you want to make sure that wherever you're getting it from, it's sourcing it from a farm that uses organic farming practices. Also, you want to ensure that the product is manufactured without the use of harsh chemicals. CBD oil must ultimately be extracted from the hemp plants. So there are several methods that can be used. However, the best method that we found is what's called supercritical CO2 extraction. This method does not use harsh chemicals, so there is no possibility for residue from solvents since none are being used in the process. The CBD oil that we will have in the office is extracted using this method. The other primary types of extraction are ethanol extraction, hydrocarbon extraction, and isolate extraction. These processes are suboptimal because they use very harsh chemicals to extract CBD compounds from the cannabis plants. And unfortunately, these residues remain in the oil and may negatively affect our bodies, such as allergic reactions or other types of reactions. Another thing that you can keep in mind when you're looking for a CBD oil is the company. There's some red flags, some things that would kind of say, this might be a little shady, is that if the company should either state or show at least these 4 things. One, it should explicitly state their method of extraction. If they kind of sidestep that, that's a red flag. They need to state where their hemp is grown and sourced. There needs to be a whole label on the bottle that shows the active and inactive ingredients somewhere on that bottle. If they don't, another thing that might give you a little pause. Also, it should state that they do third-party testing to ensure the efficacy of their product. There have been a lot of suppliers out there that are falsifying some of this stuff, and then when the product is analyzed, it has less than what it's showing on the label. So they should be opening themselves up to third-party testing to ensure that what they say is in the bottle is actually in the bottle. One other interesting note for folks out there, because a lot of times people are using CBD for inflammation in the body. Studies have also shown that turmeric increases the bioavailability of CBD in the body. Turmeric by itself has been shown to decrease pain and inflammation, but in conjunction with CBD, it appears this effect is actually increased. Turmeric is also helpful as an antimicrobial, supports blood sugar management, gallbladder function, circulation, blood vessel health, and also maintaining healthy cholesterol levels, which most people actually know. This has been out, there's been a lot of articles on the benefits of turmeric in the last couple of years. We would recommend, the product that we recommend in the office is called Turmeric Forte, and it's sold by MediHerb. They're an Australian herbal company that, interestingly enough, in Australia, they have to follow pharmaceutical standards. And so we know that what's in their bottle is actually in their bottle, whereas in the United States, although we have a lot of really good herbal companies, I'm sure, we don't have those same rigorous standards in the United States. So we are just a little more on the side of cautious. We want to make sure that any herbs that we're selling here, that what's labeled on the bottle, we know for sure is in the bottle. And MediHerb is just an excellent company. So that's what we recommend. The other thing about Turmeric Forte is that they blended fenugreek root with it, and that actually they found in clinical studies to increase bioavailability of curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, by almost 25 times in those clinical studies. So I think it's a good win-win to use the CBD oil with something like Turmeric Forte. Hopefully this information will help you in your hunt for a good CBD oil for you. Please don't hesitate to come in and discuss the product with our doctors and our staff if you have any questions. And thank you for your time.